if I were to ask you, and I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to corner you, but if I were to ask you how your prayer life is, how would you answer that? I suppose that your answer might be like if I asked you about how your exercise life was, or your eating life was, or your devotional life was. If I asked you how your exercise life was, you might say, well, I know I should do more, and I should walk a little bit more, or whatever. I could do more. If I asked you about your eating, you could say, well, I try to eat healthy, but I have my bad days, and I really like my sweets, and I'm really a carb guy. If I asked you about your devotional life, maybe the same answer. I crack it open every once in a while, and I read it. I'd like to do more. I read my meditations. I'd like to read more. I'd like to do more, but maybe your prayer life is a little bit like that. I pray at meals. I pray maybe before I go to bed, but I could do better. Seems like every answer to our question about how is it going is almost always, I could do better, right? When you answer that question that way, and we're always saying, I could do better, what's the emotions that's going on as you give that answer? As you say, you know what, I should be doing more, I should be doing better, I should be doing differently. What's the emotion that's going on in your heart? Is it maybe a little bit of guilt? God tells me to pray and I'm hardly doing it. God tells me to read His Word and I'm hardly doing it. Maybe a little bit of guilt. Maybe also shame and embarrassment. You walk through you hear about somebody who's exercising a lot and you say, boy, I sure wish man, look at them. I can't even come close to that. Or you see somebody go through the line at the buffet and they're filling their plates with lettuce and you're piling it up with potatoes. Boy, I sure wish I were like that. Or spiritually, you hear about somebody who's reading through the Bible in 90 days or 180 days, reading it from cover to cover without stopping. They don't miss a day, an hour a day for 90 days. And you think, boy, that's amazing. I can't even come close to that. I'm lucky if I get 5 minutes a day. Prayer life, maybe the same. You hear about Martin Luther's prayer life, and it was hours a day. Did you know that Luther said on his busiest days, he prayed more, not less? For the longest time, when I heard about other pastors' devotional lives, it was like a stick to my rear end. I heard about them reading their Bibles and just hours. And then they got out their confessions, which the confessions it's a really great book, full of what we believe. It's an explanation of what the Bible teaches. It's good. And that was part of their devotional life. And then they prayed. So their devotional life, if you followed through what they did every day, it was hours. And I thought, I'm not even close to that. My devotional life early on, even still, is on and off, hit and miss. And then I think, well, if devotional life is an hour a day, 2 hours a day, where am I going to squeeze that in? And I felt guilt and shame and embarrassment. And if somebody asked me how my devotional life was, I probably told a little bit of a lie. Because I didn't want to look so bad. But here's the thing, as we think about prayer life, devotion life, even let's talk, I'll make it first about the physical side of things. When I learned that God commands me to read my Bible and to pray, not because He wants something from me, but because He wants something for me, it all changed. Put it in terms of exercise. We know that exercise is good for us. Science tells us that exercise is good for us. It's good for our bodies. It's good for our minds. It's good for everything. It's good for our emotions, the whole gamut of things. Exercise is good for us. And so if I say, it'd be really great if you got out and exercised a little bit. 20 minutes a day, the doctors say. 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week. If I say that to you, it's not because I have an expectation from you that if you're going to let me down if you don't do it. It's because I want something for you. And if we talk about eating healthy, it's not because, you're not the right shape or you're not the right whatever. It's because eating food is like putting gas in your car. If you put clean fuel in your car's going to run better. But if you put diesel in your car, it's going to get all gummed up. And so if I tell you to eat better, it's not because I need something from you. It's because I want something for you. And isn't that the case with our devotional life? God does tell us to read His Word. God does tell us to meditate on it day and night, doesn't He? Blessed is the man who meditates on my word day and night. He's like a tree planted by streams of water. Why does God tell us to do that? Not because He wants something from us, but because He wants something for us. He wants to feed us with His Word. He wants to strengthen us and equip us and train us and sometimes rebuke us and call us to repentance and then forgive us and comfort us and encourage us. God tells us to do these things because He wants something for us. And it's the same thing with prayer, isn't it? Jesus tells us to pray because He wants to bless us.